Hi, welcome to Minnesota Music Mom. I'm Karen Davis. Well, I have a request that I would like to play today. It's from Tyler, and Tyler asked if I could play the hymn, I Heard the Voice of Jesus Say. And I did find that in two different hymnals. One is in the hymnal that we use, the CW. It's called Christian Worship A Lutheran Hymnal. And then the other is in the LSB, Lutheran Service Book. And we don't sing out of this book, we sing out of the CW, but Mike of Indiana sent this to me as a gift. Thank you, Mike, so much. I appreciate it. And so I have this hymn in both. They're two different arrangements. So I'll play both of them. And then also Tyler had asked about Kingsfold. And there are two hymns in the CW with Kingsfold and two hymns in the LSB with Kingsfold. So I will play one of those. So the first hymn is I Heard the Voice of Jesus Say, number 338, and that is in CW, and it's a little unusual because it switches keys midway. It starts with two flats, and it switches to one sharp. And I forgot to let you know that when I'm done playing, I'd like to tell you about a couple bloopers that happened to me a few years ago. That has one more verse. Okay, now I would like to play the same song, I Heard the Voice of Jesus Say. That was number 338 in the CW. This is number 699 in the LSB. And this one is an entirely different arrangement, and it is one flat. Wow, that is really a pretty arrangement. Okay, so now for Kingsfold, in the LSB, there is number 444. It's called No Tramp of Soldiers' Marching Feet. And also number 46, which is Your Hand, O Lord, in Days of Old. And then in the CW, there is number 481, which is O God, Your Hand the Heavens Made, and number 520, Your Hand, O Lord, in Days of Old. So this is Kingsfold. That was Kingsfold. Okay, and both of these, all these songs were out of the CW, Christian Worship, a Lutheran Hymnal, and also LSB, Lutheran Service Book. Okay. All right, couple bloopers. Okay, so both of them were for a communion liturgy service. Okay, so the first one, what we used to do is the very last hymn after the liturgy, the minister would say the blessing, and then I'd go right into the last hymn. He wouldn't announce it or anything. Everybody would be standing, and it would be like two verses of a hymn, or a very short hymn, and everybody would just stay standing, and then I would just go right into the hymn, do a little introduction, and everybody would sing. And then the minister would just walk off to the side into the doorway of his little office there by the altar, and then after that he would do the announcements. So it was a special Sunday because we were having a baptism, so there were a lot of visitors, and I wanted to have it really special. Well, at the end of the service, I had this is the liturgy, my copy of the liturgy book. Okay, so what I did to make more room up here is I flipped it like this. So I was looking at it like this. And so the last part of the liturgy was Amen. So I played the Amen, and then I went right into the last hymn. And the minister came walking up to the front step, because that's usually where he did the blessing. So he walks up to the front, and I'm looking at him, and I'm playing the little introduction to the hymn, and I'm thinking, why is he up to the front? What is he doing? I'm playing the hymn. Why doesn't he go back to the doorway? That's kind of weird. Oh, okay, whatever, and I go, and he keeps standing there at the front, like he's gonna say something. I'm like, well, no, it's time for the hymn. I'm doing the hymn. What else is there to say? There's nothing else to say. Why didn't he go back to the door? So I start playing the hymn, and finally he grabs a hymnal, he goes back and stands in the doorway. We sing through the hymn, And then we get done, and he's going to say the announcements. And so the first thing he says is, he's like, okay, first we'll do the blessing. He does the blessing. Like, oh, shoot. And I turn it around. I'm like, oh, man, I missed that whole part. I went a little soon. I went into the hymn when I shouldn't have. So, it's not the end of the world, but it's one of those things where it was a special service. I wanted to make it special, and yeah, I made that one pretty special. So it's just a little blooper. I mean, there's been worse. That's just a little blooper. There's another blooper. Communion liturgy again. Communion liturgy for the gospel. It depends on which liturgy you're in. If we're in the non-communion, then the minister says, that the gospel is out of such and such Bible verse, and he just goes right into it, and I don't have to play anything. But for the communion liturgy, then he'll say the gospel is out of such and such a Bible verse, and then there's a little, something for me, just a little blurb that I play that everybody sings. And it was a visiting pastor. So I'm sitting at the organ, and we're going through the liturgy, and it's just before the gospel. And then someone comes up to me during the service and asks me a question. And I don't even remember what the question was, but it was something to do with the service or the organ or something. And so I'm looking at them, and we're having this little conversation. And it doesn't take that long. But I'm answering the question, and I look back at the liturgy, and then I'm like, oh, shoot. I was supposed to play something there, and I completely missed it. Now he's doing the gospel, and oh boy, my bad. I completely missed my part. So then after the service, I said, hey, I'm sorry. Somebody came and asked me the question, and I just completely missed that. And he's like, yep. He wasn't. I don't think he was real happy at that. You know what? I mean, yeah, I don't think he was real happy with that. But so those little things happen, they happen. Those are my fault. Sometimes they're the minister's fault. Sometimes they're the organ does something. So still, like I've mentioned before, I don't want that to stop you from playing in church, because sometimes things happen, and you just go on with it. So if you have requests, I know I have some other requests that I have not done yet. I am working on some of them yet. So don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. I still have them, and I will do them. I just haven't gotten to them yet. Thank you very much for all your comments. Thank you for all your requests. And I would be very interested if you have purchased books. I know some people have told me already that from the songs I have played out of a book, they have purchased it. And that just makes me so happy, because then I know that what I'm doing. Hopefully I'm picking out enough variety of songs within a book that you can get a good idea of what the book is about. So if you have purchased a book because of the arrangements that you were able to hear on these videos, I would love to hear from you. Thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you later.